Good morning. Welcome to the meditation session. We welcome all the people who attended the Sahaja meditation sessions before. In case you are coming for the first time to this meditation and you have not got your self-realization, that is, if you are trying Sahaja for the first time, we recommend you that you please attend the session which is posted on this page. There are other videos in the page which you can watch where we have explained other sessions, like there is session 2, session 3, session 4, where we have explained about Sahaja in more detail, about the chakras, the nadis, the qualities. So you can watch those videos and you attend the session. So in today's session, what we are going to do is we are going to raise a Kundalini, take Bandhan, the way Shri Mataji has taught, and after that we are going to meditate, balance our left and right, and after that we will listen to a short speech of Shri Mataji and meditate again. So we request you to sit in a comfortable corner of your house, any peaceful corner. You can sit on a chair or on the ground. Ensure that there is contact with Mother Earth and settle back peacefully. If you are watching this on the mobile phone, we recommend you put the headphones on so that you can watch this. Also, there are times during meditation we will close our eyes, so it will be useful if you can put your headphones on. If you are watching on computer, you can put the speaker on. Before we start the meditation, we request you to watch this small video which we played last time also about how to raise Kundalini and how to raise Bandhan. You can watch this in the video how Shri Mataji does it, and we can do the same.
Now I'll tell you how to raise your own Kundalini. That's important. You should be able to do it every night and every morning. First of all, you have to give yourself a protection 7 times by moving your right hand along your aura 7 times. Now see. 1.
So that is the way to take Bandhan.
Very
left
important.
to right and
because
back.
your thoughts will take over. 2. Some people will tell you something.
You can follow what Shri Mataji is
3.
doing.
4. Don't forget the experience. 5. 6. And 7. Now raising of Kundalini is very easy because you are empowered now. It's very easy to raise your Kundalini. Put your left hand in front of your Kundalini. And the right hand has to move upward, forward, downward, backward. That's all. And the left hand has to be raised straight. You have to watch the left hand. Now, start. Take your hand above your head. Now, and give it a big twist. Push back your head and give it a big twist and give it a knock. Again, let's do it again. Once more. Now the hand rises much faster because the Kundalini is there. Now push back your 2. Again. 3rd time 3. 3 knots. 3 knots. Fix it up properly. 3 knots. 1, 2, and 3. Now see yourself how much you have improved in vibrations. Alright? Stay.
So now we have raised the Kundalini, so we shall balance our left and right side. Left side is our emotional side, and the Ida Nadi, also called as the moon channel, the emotional aspect of our ourself. So we're going to balance that first. Left hand in the lap, right hand on the earth, and we will put our left hand in the lap, right hand on the earth. Close your eyes, keep our attention on top of the head, and meditate for a few minutes. Mother, please balance my left side. Mother, please balance my left side. The right hand is towards the earth, left hand is in the lap. And we will pray, Mother, please balance my left side. And check the energy in the left palm, at the center of the palm and at the fingertips. If you are feeling heat or warmth, pray, Mother, please balance my left side through Mother Earth. Now let's meditate for a few minutes, balancing our left side. Now we will balance our right side, right hand in the lap and left hand in the sky. You can see it on the screen, right hand in the lap and left hand towards the sky. Again close your eyes and pray, Mother, please balance my right side. Right side is our action side. Thinking and planning happens on the right side. So we'll pray, Mother, please balance my right side. Take away all the excess heat and imbalance of my right side through the sky element. Now close your eyes, keep our entire attention on the right palm, and if you're feeling heat or heaviness at the center of the palm or around the fingertips, now let it go through the left hand into the sky. Gradually you'll start feeling coolness in the right palm. Now we will put both our hands, palms in our lap. Place our right hand on the heart and pray from our heart, Mother, please cleanse my heart. Mother, please purify my heart. Place your right hand on the forehead, and here say, Mother, I forgive everyone and I forgive myself. Mother, I forgive everyone and I forgive myself. Now the last step, on the talu, just place your center of the right palm and move the skin of the head in a clockwise direction 7 times and pray, Mother, please establish my self-realization. Please establish my meditation. Keep both hands in the lap and let us meditate for 2 minutes. Complete attention on top of the head. Check how you are feeling in the palms, at the center of the palm and at the fingertips. Left hand and the right hand. Can you feel some energy in the palms? And is it different from the last week or yesterday's meditation that you had? Check how you are feeling. Take your right hand on top of the head and see if you're feeling anything cool or warm here. Now, if you're feeling heat in the left hand, you need to balance the left side. If you're feeling heat in the right hand, you need to balance the right side further. Now we will do a attention exercise today to know our chakras better. Now you know where the chakras are. We explained in the last sessions. In case you missed it, you can see the videos. But what we want to do today is, now you know where they are, but can we put our attention on chakras and feel the energy of our chakras? Okay, so it's important to know the location of the chakras. Now, the first center, Mooladhara, is at the base of the spine, and the location in the hand is here at the base of the palm. Okay, second center, Swadhisthana, location is at the waist level, and in the hand the location is the tip of the thumb finger, both hands, tip of the thumb finger. Then the Nabhi chakra is the navel and the location is tip of the middle finger, both hands. And the location of void or Bhavasagara is around the Nabhi and the location is here, around the palm. That is the void or Bhavasagara. Then the location of heart, you know where the heart is in Sahaja. We explained last time, there is central heart, left heart and the right heart. The location in the hand is the tip of the little finger. that is the heart chakra. Next we have the Vishuddhi chakra. The location is throat, and in the hand the tip of the index finger is the Vishuddhi chakra. Then the Agnya chakra is here, where Shri Mataji has put a bindi, that is exactly the Agnya chakra, and the location in the hand is tip of the ring finger, that's the location. And the most important chakra, the Sahasrara chakra, is on top on the fontanelle bone area, and the location in the hand is the middle of the palm, the right at the middle of the palm, that's the Sahasrara chakra. Now you've seen the location. Now we can close our eyes and we can keep our attention on these chakras and feel the flow of the Kundalini through the chakras. Close your eyes, all of you, and I'll keep explaining to you where the location is. But important, you focus on the energy in your palms. Important, keep the attention on top of the head. So let us close our eyes. Keep your attention on Mooladhara chakra, base of the spine and base of the palm on both hands. Mooladhara chakra, deity of the Mooladhara chakra is Shri Ganesha. Next we move our attention to Swadhisthana chakra. To Swadhisthana chakra, attention on Swadhisthana. In the hand, the tip of the thumb finger in the left hand and the right hand, that is Swadhisthana chakra. The deity of Swadhisthana is Brahma and Saraswati. Right Swadhisthana is the pure attention, Nirmala Chitta. And the left Swadhisthana is the pure knowledge, Shuddha Vidya, Nirmala Vidya, Shuddha Ichcha, pure desire. Keep our attention on Swadhisthana. Check how you are feeling in the tip of the thumb finger. Now as the Kundalini raises from Swadhisthana into our Nabhi chakra, into the navel, keep our attention on the navel and also on tip of the both hands, both palms, middle finger. Tip of the middle finger is the position of the Nabhi chakra. Check how you are feeling. And if at any point you feel excessive pulsation or tingling on that particular chakra, you can record that and you know that that chakra is where the work is happening for you. Check if it is the left hand or right hand or if it is both hands. Complete attention on the Nabhi chakra. Nabhi is where we feel our peace within, contentment within. The deity of the Nabhi is Shri Lakshmi and Shri Vishnu. Keep your eyes closed, no need to open your eyes. Next, we move our attention to the void. Void is the area around the Nabhi, the green circle that you see there, that's the Nabhi, and in the palm, it is the around the Sahasrara in the center of the palm. not the center of the palm, but the entire area around the center of the palm is the void in the hands, or the Bhavasagara. We keep our attention there. Now Bhavasagara is our Guru principle. If you've been following any false gurus, usually the Bhavasagara gets caught up. So self-mastery is the key for unlocking the Bhavasagara. We need to recognize that we are our own gurus. We are our own master. Shri Mataji, by your grace, I am my own guru. I am my own master. Also, there have been incarnations of the Guru principle around the world. There have been incarnations like Moses, Abraham, Prophet Muhammad, Zarathustra, Guru Nanak, Raja Janak, Confucius, Lao Tse, Socrates, Shirdi Sainath. Shirdi Sainath was the last incarnation of the Guru principle. These are the 10 incarnations of the Guru principle which are awakened within us. Next, we move our attention to the heart chakra, central heart, right heart, and the left heart. In the palm, the tip of the little finger is the heart chakra. Keep our attention on the heart chakra and see how you're feeling there. The right heart is Sri Sita Rama, left heart is Shiva Parvati, and the central heart is Durga. Qualities of Durga. Now keep our attention on the Vishuddhi chakra, on the throat area. In the hand, the tip of the index finger. Tip of the index finger is the Vishuddhi chakra. Let us keep our attention on Vishuddhi chakra. The deity is Shri Krishna, Shri Radha Krishna in the central Vishuddhi, Shri Vishnu Maya in the left Vishuddhi, and Shri Vitthal Rukmini in the right Vishuddhi. Check how you are feeling on the index fingertip. Now let us gradually move our attention to the Agnya chakra. Agnya is the forehead on the front side and also corresponding back side of the head, which is back Agnya on the back side. Front side, this is the front Agnya, and the left Agnya is on the right temple. This is the left Agnya, and the right temple or the left temple is the right Agnya, which crosses here. The left temple is the right Agnya and the right temple is left Agnya, because both the channels cross at the Agnya chakra. So keep our attention on the Agnya chakra, and in the hand, tip of the ring finger. Now Agnya is the center of penance, tapasya, and the back Agnya is Mahaganesha. Front Agnya is Jesus Mary Mata, left Agnya is Mahavira, and the right Agnya is Buddha. These are all the incarnations of penance. And most important aspect of Agnya is forgiveness. Ability to forgive is the quality of Agnya. That's why we say here, Mother, I forgive everybody. Now keep our attention from Agnya into Sahasrara, on the top of the head, on the fontanel bone area. Now here is where it is the place of Adi Shakti. On this point we meditate upon Shri Mataji and feel the energy in the palms now, as your attention gets stabilized on the top of the head. You can clearly feel waves of energy flowing in your palms and on top of the head. You can check it for yourself. Check here. You can feel it as a subtle cool breeze. Most of you are able to feel cool breeze. If anyone is feeling warmth in any one of the hands, that's okay, but see if you're feeling something coming from the head, the energy, you can feel it here. Now we will listen, we'll continue to be in meditation. We'll listen to Shri Mataji's speech about the spirit. The spirit resides in the heart, and we're going to play a 12-minute speech of Shri Mataji where she talks about qualities of the spirit, or the Atma. Spirit is also Atma. So we'll listen to that speech.
Be honest to yourself. You have no business to cheat yourself for anything whatsoever. If you are hypnotized, awaken yourself. Arise and find what is the best, absolute, and the only thing that you have to find, your spirit. Your spirit resides in the heart. It is the reflection of God Almighty. It enjoys itself by itself. It is the spectator of the work of its power, the Holy Ghost. It watches you and is called as the knower of the field. It knows what you are doing, what are your aspirations, what mistakes you are committing. It goes to a long extent to forgive and forgive and forgive. Forgiveness is one of the qualities of the Spirit. It forgives you and says, it will work out, it will come around. But when you go too far, say if you pay too much attention to your physical being or to your mental being, if you try to think too much, the Spirit indicates its displeasure and you get a heart attack. Heart attack comes to you through displeasure of the Spirit. If the Spirit is angry with you, you get a heart attack. That means you have neglected your spirit, you have paid attention to things which are not important. You have looked after things which are not important. You have not worried about yourself about the spirit, about your seeking. Even if you lost, say in any fanatic behavior of reading some books and things and taking out certain things, remembering them by heart and then having an argument and course on it and all that, in all genuineness and goodness, but stupidity, there also you can get heart attack. Heart is very important. It sometimes gives you first warning by giving you a partial paralysis, because in the heart a sort of a resentment is created by the spirit, which creates a clot, and that clot, when it goes into the brain, you get a partial paralysis, so that you do not move any further. Your attention is taken to it. Then you start thinking of God, thinking of all the things, and maybe if you come to Sahaja, you get cured, because again your spirit forgives you. We are taking too much liberty with our spirit. It is true, God has given you freedom, and He is not going to take away your freedom at any cost. You have to be absolutely free to choose whether to go to heaven or to go to hell. He is not going to force you. Only thing one can do is to explain to you and tell you that this is the way you go to hell. Even then, if you want to go, then what can anybody do about it? Even God. He doesn't want to challenge your freedom at all. He doesn't want to make you in any way bound to Him, like some people are bound, just bound without understanding. But He wants your complete liberation. So first stage is that you have to choose your liberation through your own freedom of choice. Now, up to this point, till you were human beings, there was no choice for you. But after becoming a human being, you were given the choice because you could develop well to understand what is right and wrong in your own freedom, so that you can enter into the kingdom of God as people who are free and have chosen good in their own glory and in their own freedom. This is the only small little step where we always confuse our freedom with our ego. For example, now this hall is here, say, for me to speak. Right? Somebody comes from outside who has been sort of worked up in some sort of an organization and thinks that he's doing the greatest work in the whole world in such a myth. Comes down here in that ego state, sits down here, asks me questions after questions, questions after questions, questions after questions, doesn't allow anybody else to speak, takes away all my time to himself, as if this hall is booked by him and all the audience is gathered by him. He is least bothered as to see that this is an ego that is working. So we should not confuse our freedom with ego. That's what I have to give you a counsel. Try to differentiate your ego from your freedom. When you are ego bound, you are a slave of your ego. When you are super ego bound, you are a slave of your super ego, of your conditioning. For example, you are born a Christian, you are a Christian. You are gone forever then. Alright, you are a Christian, but what about real Christianity within you? What about your rebirth in the real sense of the word? So you become enslaved to these things, so there is no freedom. And spirit is the freedom, is the free being within us. It is detached. It cannot be killed. It cannot be blown away. It cannot be burnt away. It is eternal, Anant. It is eternal. That spirit is joy. That spirit is the source of joy that emits joy. Joy is different from happiness and unhappiness. Ego, when it feels pampered, it feels happy. I like it, I like it. This I business is ego pampering. That is not joy, because you like to drink today and tomorrow you don't like to have a headache. It has the double side of I like and I don't like. You like something through your ego, dislike through your superego. So it is a one coin and they have two faces, one is happiness, another is unhappiness. Joy is beyond that. Joy is a drama. Seer is a witness. You see a drama, you know it's a drama going on, you just watch it as a drama. You are not involved and you are seeing it and enjoying it. You are crying if you see something, you are weeping, but you know you are not that. It's a drama. Seer, the witness. Your spirit is the witness. And when you become the spirit, you become the witness. You become the witness. For example, you are seeing something through a window. There's something exists in the window, for example. Now you enter inside the room and you see through the window. Your conditioning is like one wave arising in you as a thought which comes from the past. It rises again, another thought comes up and goes in the past. First the past thought is there and then another future thought is there, it disappears. You see the thought rising but you can't see the disappearing of the thought. In between that is the present. That's the place is established, that present is established when your attention becomes enlightened by the Spirit. Either you think of the future or of the past. But I say now, at this moment, at the present, you cannot stand there because your spirit is not enlightened. Because his spirit is the present. When you get your realization, you find that you are not thinking of the future or the past, you are just enjoying. Everything becomes different. The whole life becomes a drama and the joy out of it starts coming out. And you really enjoy small things here and there. And you really understand how much joy was lost before realization. This is not your mental thing that gives you joy, but the joy pours on you from your head just like this, a cool thing starts pouring down. As some people have a feeling of the tension rising up, it's the same way a cool sort of thing, flow of joy you feel in your whole body pours out. Sometimes this cool breeze that rises in the head also starts becoming like a fountain pouring down that joy. You look at the pictures, for example, see this star of Moses. You see David's star, you see that. When you see that, you can think about it. Or else you just watch this. Watch it and don't think. The joy of the creation of that thing, whole thing, becomes one with you. Like all the creation around, a lake is completely felt in the lake if the lake has no ripples. Completely. In the same way, all that is joy. The Creator, whosoever it may be, has put there. You get the complete joy within yourself because there is no thought. There is no barrier, no conditioning. The whole thing becomes one with you and you start feeling extremely happy, extremely joyous. A feeling which is indescribable. It is to be just enjoyed, to be felt. Like Kabira was asked, why don't you speak now? So he says in Hindi language, he's one of the terrific poets we had. He says, Jab mast hue fir kya bole? When I have gone into the nectar of the intoxication of the spirit, now what can I talk? There's no word. No cup can fill this joy. No words can fill this meaning. You better be with me and get it and enjoy yourself. That's all he could say.
Let us keep our attention inside and meditate. Now, what Srimati was explaining today was about our spirit and the state of our spirit, and the fact that we are not this body, but we are the spirit or the Atma within. So, when we are the Atma, then there is no happiness or unhappiness, because the Atma is just watching, witnessing without reacting, like a drama that's going on. So when we attain that state through Sahaja Yoga meditation, because when you are sitting in meditation, you are feeling the cool breeze in your hands. You are feeling it. You are not actually doing anything to get that, right? It is not a result of your action, what you are feeling it is. It is happening by the connection of the Kundalini within us with the all-pervading divine energy. When that happens, when the connection happens, automatically the cool breeze flows. And we are witnessing it. So we clearly know that we are not creating it. And as this state gets established in our meditation, we start seeing that our daily life, it's happening on its own. Everything, there is an energy that is working out. You are at the right place at the right time, and things are happening to you, and we start seeing ourselves in the third person. When that happens, we are really detached. Like the way Shri Krishna explained, the Sakshi Sthiti, the witness state dawns in us, because we start identifying more with the spirit and less with our physical identity. Whatever is the identity that we have, we identify with that as a father or as a mother or a husband or a wife. It doesn't mean that we give up those roles. We participate in every aspect of our life in a very detached manner, enjoying everything in its right balance. So we enjoy our fatherly relationship, or like a son, or like a daughter, or like a wife. Everything, your job, your work, everything is done and is enjoyed, but the enjoyer is not us but the spirit which is enjoying. So that is the state that dawns in, and that's what is truly growth in Sahaja Yoga that happens. So day one is the meditation, but the chakras, the balancing, why are we doing all this? Why do we need to balance? Last time I told you about candling, about ice pack. This is all because our attention is flowing into the left side or into the right side. It is not coming into the balance. The moment it comes into the balance, the moment the Kundalini touches the heart where the spirit resides, and the spirit enlightens the entire kshetra, the field of our existence, the entire subtle system, that is the state we are in complete joy, where we are not reacting. And that is what establishes as we meditate day in and day out. So that is the reason why we meditate for 10 minutes in the morning and 10 minutes in the evening. That's what we should do. And as we start doing that, our state establishes. Morning meditation and evening foot soaking. Okay? So now we will again meditate for 5 more minutes. Now I will play some music, and also last week we spoke about the mantras, the 3 Maha Mantras. We spoke about the mantras. So there will be some mantras also that will be played out, the 3 mantras. You just sit in meditation, close your eyes and feel the energy when that is happening.
Shri Ganesha Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namaha Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Ganesha Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namaha Shri
Just feel the energy for a minute. Both palms and top of the head. Let us bow to Shri Mataji, raise Kundalini and take Bandhan. The way we did before, raise the right hand and give it one knot above the head. Same manner, take it up, give 1 and 2 knots. Third time, very slowly, push back your head, take it up and give 1, 2 and 3 knots. Third time. Next, we give ourselves a bandhan. Left hand in the lap, right hand at the edge, and bring it down to the right side and bring it back to the left. This is once, so we do 7 times. Very slowly, with complete attention on top of the head, we are giving a bandhan around our auras. Now, there are a couple of questions. One question was, why do we need to raise Kundalini and take Bandhan at the end of the meditation? Because we are already raised the Kundalini at the beginning of the meditation. Why do you need to raise it again? Now, we begin the meditation, the Kundalini energy is activated. At the end of the meditation, when we are doing it, you're doing it so that the energy continues to flow even when you are not in meditation. So we say that you are in meditation throughout the day. So you're like charged, the battery is charged. So the charge continues with you throughout the day. So just to stabilize your attention, you keep it there, you give yourself a bandhan, so you continue to be protected. Not only that, if you are stepping outside the house, it's a great idea to raise Kundalini and give ourselves a bandhan and go. Because that's like a shield of energy. And this, the more your energy that you start feeling, the more intense is the shield that becomes around us. So this is like a protective shield. When you wear it, you are protected from disturbances. Like say for example, when I say disturbances, it could be anything. Anger can be a disturbance, right? Any kind of extreme emotion is a disturbance. Jealousy is a disturbance. Greed is a disturbance. So it's not only external disturbances but internal also. So we put it so that our witness state becomes stronger. So we give ourselves a bandhan. So we are protected from the Kundalini is up and the bandhan is there. So external and internal disturbances which are there, they have lesser impact on us. So that is the reason we put the bandhan. So it's also interesting, you can give yourself a bandhan before sleeping. That's also good. Your Kundalini is put up, give yourself a bandhan and sleep. And if you're like prone to bad dreams and all, this is one way you can ensure that you are you are in a state of protection. Most importantly, do foot soaking in the night, and then you can put a bandhan and sleep. And when you're stepping out of the house also, you can give yourself a bandhana. Especially in these times of viruses and attacks, where these subtle entities which are not visible to the eye are so active around, this can be very, very powerful protection. Just like you wear a mask and you go out, right? That's a good thing. But this is also, think of it like that. This is a protection that we have, which is a very subtle spiritual protection that we have. Just see how your meditation is progressing every day. Most of you who have now attended almost 8-9 sessions, you know most of the knowledge about Sahaja Yoga. There are more aspects. There are more than 3,000 speeches given by Sri Mataji. They are all available online, and you can listen to the speeches. You can meditate. You can discuss with other Sahaja Yogis. But nothing is more impactful than your own meditation. And do not have any excuses to not be able to give 5-10 minutes to yourself. Nothing can be an excuse. And the more you start enjoying this state of the spirit, the state of the joy, you would like to meditate more. And you know that you are progressing well if you know you want to meditate more. The moment you start having excuses not to meditate, know that the struggle is still there. So you need to willfully sit for meditation, and the more the joy settles in, you don't need to apply more of will, because automatically you will be in meditation even when you don't meditate. Jai Shri Mataji.